Greetings, weary traveler, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, tales of Tamriel. I am your host, Arkhaniir, and we have a full house today. Starting with, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Lotus of Doom. How's it going, Lotus?
I'm doing pretty well. Hello.
That is always good to hear. Also, joining us, from now on, not as a guest, but officially a co-host as of this episode, HyperPixieGaming. How's it going, Pixie?
It's going great.
And
Welcome aboard officially.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here all the time now.
Your soul has been corrupted. There's no returning from this.
Yeah,
No.
The deed is
I'll
you later
convert you
what
all
you
to the
signed.
Dominion.
Oh God, no. What have we
I'm a
signed
spy.
on for?
No. We just have to work really hard to make her see the truth of Ebonheart Pact. That's it. Like this is a sacred duty that we have.
You'll be our new convert.
I wish you good luck. You're gonna need it. Because it's not
been,
gonna happen.
It's been 5 years and I still haven't chosen a side.
I
so
know
I
you're
think-
still.
I think we're fine.
You're wearing a yellow shirt.
Oh my God.
Yellow
It
and
is
blue.
chosen.
It is blue.
Oh, it's every
a
alliance
little
except ours.
blue. Except for red.
So just be on my team for tonight.
All right. I can play both sides.
So, the voice you might just recognize, that is Promethean rejoining us for this week. Well, hopefully more weeks, but he's taken a break from his
Yeah.
Promethean break. And how's it going, Promethean?
It's good. It's good. I'm glad to be back.
Well, now you are banned for everything you just said, though, because
It was a great 13 seconds.
yeah.
Well, I will see you later.
And the thing is, I can now actually just ban people.
Oh no.
Because
Oh.
yeah, I have been given the power over DCN completely. So now I can actually run a very understanding, very inclusive, very democratic network of dungeon crawlers that do not include anyone but Ebonheart Pact and Nords. That is how it works now.
So
I don't want to express my concern immediately about. However, I feel like the very reputable cult of Gwar is probably not going to do as well anymore under this new rule.
I've no idea what you mean. I mean, have I been anything but fair until now? I mean, if I was, I will change that. That's what that. But basically, what happened is, I mean, I was already hosting Tales of Tamriel, but Egelos, I think a couple days ago, we were talking about this behind the scenes, obviously, but I am now officially the current leader of Dungeon Crawler Network's podcast and content creation site. So the Hands of Fate Guild is still run by the council, which I'm not a part of because I can't keep up with any games that I'm already playing, let alone run the Hands of Fate Guild. But Hands of Fate is run by the council, and the content creation side of Dungeon Crawler Network, including Twitch, YouTube, the website, I'm inheriting those. I'm seeing this more of a Steward of Gondor position until I can convince Ag to just hop back in. Which I will definitely not try because he wants to spend time with his family. I am definitely not gonna get in the way of that. I will just, behind the scenes, just like corrupt his mind slowly. Hey, Ag, we are having so much fun. You should return. It's not gonna affect anything. Come on. Just like 80
Takes
hours
no time at
every
all
week.
either.
Yeah. But yeah. So from now on, you'll be seeing more of me if this wasn't enough. And as I said, everyone is included. No exclusion towards Altmers and Guar. Definitely.
So does that mean you get upgraded and now we should just address you as a Jelos? And does that mean I get to get upgraded to Arkhaniir status?
I actually...
That
I don't know.
this would make sense.
Yeah,
This would
Promethean
make
becomes
sense.
Lotus and Pixie becomes
Then
Promethean.
yeah.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
Promethean has a
exactly.
cool
That
name, and it
means
also
it's
starts with a
fine.
P.
So we just all shift up a space. I'll grab Boots, and Boots can be Pixie.
I am okay with that arrangement.
Done and done.
Improvement to the show already.
Oh, we have one more news to share about DCN, and that is our Patreon is now closed because Patreon do not allow transfer of ownership, unlike every other platform that is out there. So our Patreon is closed, and I really, really want to thank everyone who supported our Patreon all this time. That really helps with the cost of hosting the website and RSS feeds and everything like that. But from now on, at least for the moment, Twitch will be the main place to do that, subscriptions, bits, and things like that, because there are no donations, because PayPal is not active in Turkey either. So for the moment, I'll be using Twitch solely for that purpose. And we'll see what happens in the future, whether if I launch Patreon again and things like that. But there are a lot that I need to research in that regard. So until then, our Patreon is closed. This means, though, we will now release the show as soon as possible to everyone. Because what we used to do is Patreon supporters used to get the show at least 24 hours early. So now there is no Patreon. Our show will go live as soon as I finish editing and uploading it. So there is a bright side to all this for the general public. Whew. Yeah, those are what has changed over in DCN. And Gone Chris back soon, thank you so much. I am feeling better. That is another background update, I suppose. I was down hard and I am now I think not fully recovered, but I'm 90% there. And Lotus and Pixie, thank you guys so much for rising to the occasion and recording that episode, because I was really concerned that I don't want to skip an episode, but I was like, when I did that, it wasn't sounding that enthusiastic. It was more like I was shivering due to the fever, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to skip an episode.
Fever crazies.
So
do
that
you
worked
call it?
out nicely.
No, I was going to say, our pleasure is still a lot of fun. And just since we're on the note of it, before we move on to Elder Scrollsy stuff, just kind of a shout out to Ag for kind of leaving his legacy of all the stuff that he started to the group of us. And specifically, I was going to say, Ark, I think you'll be a great fit for running all this stuff. So
Wait
think
until I
this
start
is,
bashing on the Guar, but
all right, well, you'll do 70% of a great job, and you'll really screw up 30%.
more realistic. A lot more
You're
realistic.
gonna do amazing. In
But-
true Tales fashion.
Yes.
And really, Ag basically raised the DCN and Tales of Tamriel for 5 years, raised and nurtured it to the
Yeah.
point that we are at right now. And that is 5 years of running several podcasts, including Tales of Tamriel, keeping up with the website, the community, and that takes dedication. And we wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for Agelos's unrelenting dedication to it. So, Ag,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna make a bunch of changes and completely revamp your legacy. And bash the Sexplar and your way of gameplay at every turn I get the chance. Definitely 100% not gonna do that now that I can. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Change equals more guar? No, not
Rock
this
fan
change.
Chris gets it.
not this change. All right. Well, before we continue, because this is where it is in the show notes, because I forgot this once. So we do have an iTunes review. Now this is from all the way back in December 12th, and I don't think we have covered this because at some point all of the iTunes reviews got chronologically messed up and we didn't know what was new and what was not. It was just showing us completely out of order.
It's a mess. It is a disaster.
I feel like this is consistent. Like iTunes reviews are never working.
Yeah. It's just very weird. I was mentioning earlier because when I found this on accident just because I clicked on the wrong section of me trying to listen to a podcast. And it just popped up, and I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. So it's like, iTunes, do better with that.
I always have the opposite problem where I'm trying to look for reviews on a podcast, but then it just starts playing them very loudly whenever I'm unexpecting it and don't have headphones in. So I'm like, no, shh, nobody needs to hear this right now. Please be quiet.
But yeah, this review is from Michael Madison. I have found that I can do this and leave multiple reviews, so expect a new one every week. Actually, Michael Madison's name sounds familiar, so he may have been leaving multiple reviews. If so,
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you multiple times.
Yeah. P.S. I don't get new episodes every week. Fix it. You guys are great. For the last, I think, this is the 6th episode in a row that we released every week, except the last episode Lotus and Pixie recorded. It took me a week to edit it because I was sick. So, but it's still...
It still came out in that week, and we will just...
barely.
You know what? Let's just directly credit this was the reason you said fix it, so we did. Say this is directly us taking that feedback under advisement.
See, this is how much we take we take feedback from future. This is new meta podcasting. Just change stuff before it even comes up.
There are time travelers among us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for that 5-star review. Honestly, the 5-star reviews of iTunes, they help greatly. And yeah, we really, really do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be able to keep our... Well, we are not going to be able to keep our streak of a show every week because Lotus and Pixie will be at Vegas for the global review of what is coming to Elder Scrolls Online. Unless Promethean is going to be here, then we can do a show.
I'll be out of town as well, just in a different place in the States.
Well then, we'll just... I don't know. Then we won't
Solo
be a show
art
next
show?
week. Or
Yeah,
I'll just do a 2-hour show of me just sulking, like not even talking, just like man.
Breathing,
and it's just you
you breathing.
strangling a stuffed guar. That's just all it is for 2 hours on YouTube.
I have an idea. You can make sock puppets of all of us.
Oh yeah, you could just get a
just
hat
talk
and
to
put some
yourself.
glasses on and draw a cruddy beard, and boom, you got me. Just problem solved. This is Lotus.
If you just get rid of the beard, you've got me.
Yeah, actually, wow, that's very true.
Add some hair and no glasses, and there I am.
Boom.
I'll just be
There
doing
you
like
go.
with the puppets, like, oh yeah, I was at Vegas. It was so much fun. Oh yeah, I was at Vegas too. It was so much fun as well. I wonder what is Ark up to now. He's probably just brooding at home, being bored to death and being jealous.
Perfect. See? There's a little preview for next show.
You're gonna have to go up a couple octaves, I think, to get my voice a little bit more accurate, though.
Details.
But yeah, so global reveal for the next, jumping right into the news from here, that is January 16, Thursday. And it will be live on Bethesda as well, twitch.tv/Bethesda. We'll be able to watch it live. And the reveal will happen by Rich Lambert, the creative director, and Bethesda's senior vice president of global marketing and communications, Pete Hines, aka Uncle Pete. They'll be on stage and they will be basically revealing what is the next chapter and the year-long saga. So I assume we are gonna have a similar Season of the Dragon vibe, full year-long content for the next, year for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
And as last year's global reveal, there will be rewards based on the concurrent viewers. So at 80,000, so last year it was 90,000 concurrent viewers, and we got Rich Lambert, the creative director, an Elder Scrolls Online tattoo, which he wasn't expecting to happen so fast. But what was it? It was like first hour of the reveal.
I think it took 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was
It was
actually-
before they were even live. Like,
yeah, they
with
didn't
them
hit the go
up
live
there.
thing. They were still in the pre-show, and he didn't know about it because I believe it was Cash when he was on the side thing. They were motioning to him or something like that. They were saying like, "You've already hit it. You need to get a tattoo," and he was like, "What?" I didn't.
Yeah.
He went ghost white as soon as the live thing
As
came
soon
up.
as
It
it,
was
because I think it
amazing.
was like, oh boy, that's a lot of people in chat already.
Yeah.
So this year they raised the stakes. So for 80,000 concurrent viewers, we are gonna get a long wing bat pet, which honestly I couldn't care less about that, because at 150,000 concurrent viewers, they are trying to play it a little bit more safe this year. But I think they are still not playing it very safe, because I feel like it's
not with
gonna happen
Skyrim
right
coming.
away.
No.
So what they initially said, a surprise reward inspired by community submissions, but we now know what it is. So during the New Life Festival event of Elder Scrolls Online, there is a quest for Nords, the Snowbeard Plunge, that you jump off into the frozen river from a bridge in the winter of Eastmarch. And basically, in the developer, the team of ESO, including Rich Lambert, and as of a recent tweet by Pete Hines himself, they will be doing the Snowbeard Plunge in real life. And I think we can't get anything more amazing than that.
No.
I'm really
Definitely
glad
not.
Pete Hines is like kind of back on social media stuff, because I always find him very entertaining.
Oh, yeah,
so
he's very
after I mean, he went radio silent for a while after the 76th thing, and then he showed back up at Bethesda Game Days where they did the 25th anniversary of Elder Scrolls. And I'm glad to see him now doing this. It's like he seems like he's a little more available again, which I definitely like.
He did. I saw early. I don't know if anyone would have seen it. It was really kind of it was from Pete Hines about the community, and someone had replied to the tweet and said, "What happens if you get 149,999?"
Oh.
And he said that the ESO fan basically
Never disappoints or something
never
like
disappoints
that.
or like
Yeah.
always shows up or like won't let it slack or something to that effect. And I was like, I mean, he's right. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he
knows
seems like
that-
he's bracing for like, yeah, all right, so I'm probably going to have to do this, aren't I?
Yeah.
yeah, but it's that like interaction that he is back to. Like
Yes.
he's kind of coming.
Oh, yeah. I love his snark because like some people think he's just like being a douche, and it's like, well, he's sort of, but it's funny. Like he does it in a funny like way. And I noticed some people who were completely off topic complaining about random things with Bethesda or whatever in the feed. He was back to his old self of responding to them, which I found very funny because some of the responses were fantastic. I'm like, that's more like it.
I definitely want to see them jump into ice water. Real bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like,
Yeah.
you gotta wear the Nordic bath towel. That's part of the quest. So
That's for the extra achievement.
Yeah.
But well, they gotta go full. So I expect them.
Yeah.
I expect there to be Nordic bath towels. Not, come on, it's your game. You created it. You released that magnificent costume. So now you have to use it. Rich Lambert, Finnegan, Pete Hines. Come on, it's.
I wonder, like, Pete Hines seems to. It's weird for him, in my opinion, to come out for this reveal, other than it being Skyrim, and I wonder if he has been helping with it at all. Like, with the chapter?
Very possibly.
Yeah,
he
I
might be
wouldn't be
more
surprised.
involved with it.
Since it is Skyrim, and that has been the Bethesda baby of
Yeah,
the past, like, 8 years.
decade now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just curious to, like, I wonder if he's had any more input on this.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they are for the Skyrim chapter if they worked with a team from Bethesda Softworks, like not just ZeniMax Online, but
Yeah.
like for the lore, for the like creation of the land, things like that. It's I can see it happening for sure. We'll, by the way, also get a post-show after the global reveal, like last year with Jessica Folsom and Gina Bruno from the community team going more in-depth into the reveal with guests Rich Lambert, Mike Finnegan, my favorite, sorry everyone else, he's crazy and I love him, Lore Master Lehman Tuttle, or as we know him, Lemon Turtle. Also, ESO Stream Team member and the host of the Tenets podcast, Kyle Dempster Studios, Kyle, and Cash from the Lore Seekers podcast. So we'll have a strong representation of the podcast family in the global reveal as well, which is always great. And we wish them a good luck. And hopefully, I expect them to Cash, Kyle, I expect you guys to corner all of these guys with a lot of questions so that we get as much as details possible. That is your duty now. Do not fail
And
us.
I love those two so much. I'm so happy those guys are going to be up there. And I'm so happy for them. And I really hope that I can camp out early enough to get into the event so I can see it all live.
I mean, if you don't make it into the actual list, you just gotta start dropping people until your name is at top. Like, just silent takedowns,
I mean,
one by one
I was just telling
from
you,
the
I have-
line.
I have a recurve bow now.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll sneak that onto the plane. It'll be fine. I'll just I'll just get it to the knee, so that way they just need to go to the doctor and they won't be dead. And then it's also a Skyrim reference, so then they have to let me in.
See,
Or,
yeah,
I
it
mean,
works perfectly.
You just get some buffet sushi, leave it outside for a while, and then politely hand it out so that people waiting in line don't have to don't worry, I got you covered for food. And then when everybody mad rushes for the bathroom, you're like, oh, look, I'm first in line. So problem solved.
I'm really short, so I'm hoping somebody can just smuggle me in, because I'll just fit in a nice tiny little corner somewhere. I don't need to be up front. It's fine. I just want to be there. Just hide me in the back somewhere. Lotus, smuggle me in, please.
Done and done. Gotta get a bigger backpack.
No, this is just Elder Scrolls related stuff that I need in the event.
Merchandise.
Yes,
It's merchandise.
and if anyone wants to search it, a bow just flies from inside the suitcase,
Yep.
Everyone's
that
favorite
was my
Skyrim.
cosplay.
That's my follower, actually.
Yeah.
She
Hi,
has
my
to
name is
come.
Lydia.
Yeah, there you go. Pipe down. Get out of that doorway. Exactly.
I actually wasn't gonna talk about it in terms of news, but I see that Lotus just sneaked it in the Undaunted
That
Event
was me.
because by the time that was
actually
you.
wasn't.
That was me.
Okay.
I just put it in there in case we were going to talk about it, but
I mean, by the time we release this, it will most likely be
over.
Well, actually, I can release this, I think, tomorrow, sometime noon for North America, because I slept.
Ooh,
I came to show, slept, so I won't have to sleep until like afternoon today. So it might happen. But currently running event is the Undaunted Event. Finally, we got it. And from what I can tell so far, at least in PC European mega server, things haven't fallen apart and crashed and burned like the Fourth Era Empire.
Yeah,
Things
I've
have
heard
been-
nothing but good things so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried a few dungeons and the group finder broke once, but we could just
Okay.
teleport in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so far things have been nice, and I guess the fixes that they've been doing are, well, working to a degree. But it will be yours. So I think this is the shortest event in all of the events for Elder Scrolls Online. It only
Probably.
runs for 4 days,
Yeah.
and January 13th, the Monday, is the last day of the Undaunted Event. What I'm curious is, when are we getting Midyear Mayhem? Because I want Midyear Mayhem more than Undaunted Event.
Yeah, so do
if
I.
When was it?
If you look at the Crown Store showcase, which I can pull up real fast, there are things that are only associated with Midyear Mayhem releasing. It is. Oh, they don't say. Oh,
Yeah.
Nope, they don't say.
It says in January, but
yeah. So it's
haven't-
probably I don't know, late January.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably right after the reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense as well. Right after the reveal. Didn't we get a full event schedule at some point for the entire year? Or was it last
I was
year?
going to say, so luckily our resident ESO calendar is in chat.
Oh,
with Benevolent
Bodhi.
Bodhi.
Hello.
Yes, so he's guessing January 23rd, but they don't say specifically.
Okay. Well, I mean, as you said, the resident calendar for Elder Scrolls Online. So I'm gonna go with January 23rd at the moment. And if we are wrong, it's because of Benevolent Bodhi. I cannot be held responsible in any way whatsoever. Just like the death
To be
of
fair,
Wars and
if it's
Offers.
not January 23rd, I'll assume it's a mistake on Zos's end, not Benevolent.
That makes more
I mean,
sense.
we could also just base it. They had it at the beginning of last year. I mean, if anyone wants to do a lot of digging, you could figure it out. But and kind of guesstimate when it would be this year.
How are we gonna find the last year's thingy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
is-
just
Yeah.
that's
we
some
can-
work that I not doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not.
to be
You don't
fair,
need to know.
the fact that it's still called Midyear Mayhem is
Yeah,
already.
Fine.
UASP had the thing.
Morningstar Madness.
Morningstar Madness. Genius. We're just ship it, print it. It's
call it good.
yeah, it's unofficially official. Like
No.
I
But yeah,
hope
that
they
is the
give it-
end of our news.
Yeah, I hope they give us like this one and then give us actual Midyear Mayhem and then nix
Yes.
the one at the beginning of the year so we can get back to it in the summer because I like that for me is like Elder Scrolls. Like that is my summer Elder Scrolls.
right. So just kind of on that, like I love the idea of them doing 2. That'd be fine with me as well.
Yeah. Also,
But like I thought last time I thought the reason they moved it was because they were still that was when they had announced the artifact they were dropping Volendrung into Cyrodiil. But it wasn't going to like I didn't know if they were doing that to test it first before them jamming a event on top of it because June drops elsewhere and it's like
Yeah.
you would have very little testing time before Midyear Mayhem went off. So I'm like, oh, they moved it so that when that came out, I was like, oh, they moved it so that they could not cluster those up. But then it's like, okay, it's the same thing again this year. So it's kind of like, all right, well, that obviously wasn't the reasoning. So
Wait. Or are they going to give us a new PvP thing this year too? Because like we were just talking last week, Lotus and I, that other than adding the artifacts in, we really haven't gotten a ton on the PvP side. Like we got Battlegrounds around Morrowind time, but there haven't been any huge new PvP modes or anything like that. Maybe we're going to get something new in June again for the PvP players.
That would be interesting.
I felt like when they added it last year, it was more of a crunch to kick off the Indrik Berry, and they needed an event, and this filled the spot.
Maybe.
That could also make sense.
And now it's just kind of
It
there.
exists.
And then they nixed the other one because the activity finder was broken.
Right, yeah, that was not intended to be moved.
Right. Yeah.
Because, like, as is right now, there aren't even new berries or whatever that you can get. It's just kind of like, which is fine because there's 9 million things you can buy with all the opal pages that everybody loves. And then there is, what do you call it? For anything you might have missed, you can backlog and buy any of that stuff as well, like the feathers or whatever. So if you need to build one. Yeah. It's like, so you've still got stuff to post up for all your tickets and have them be worth something. They don't need to try to grill you with more stuff because there's no way, well, not no way, but there's, without a lot of work, there's almost no way to get all of those pages without spending some tickets on them. That is, or you are really grinding because it's like, that is a lot of pages. And you're only guaranteed one page per day for your first, like, grand one or whatever it's called. And then the others is just kind of luck, or you're specifically grinding the dungeon. So it's like, you got to put those tickets towards something because there's a lot of stuff to unlock if you want to collect all of it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
So, Benevolent Bovdi in chat found us the Midyear Mayhem link from last year. However, the link turned into ****, and I have no idea what did that because I don't know what bots and whatnot we have on the DCN channel yet because I just got it. I don't know how it works.
Yep, there it is again.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So on the bright side, by the time mid-year, beginning year Mayhem is over, we'll have this figured out, and we can tell you retroactively what days it was going to be.
Yeah, the permit was for a different. So the permit command is for Nightbot. I assume like if there's Nightbot in chat that it would work, but apparently it's not Nightbot. No, it is Nightbot, but the permit command does not work anyway, so I assume it's something else.
Sweet.
I've got no idea about these, sorry.
So I have a story about Nightbot, and I'll make it really fast. But
yeah, go ahead.
Nightbot was the first bot I tried out, and there was a feature that it didn't do that I wanted from a different bot, but I didn't, like, I thought I removed Nightbot, but apparently I did it wrong, and so Nightbot banned my other bot, and then I apparently was testing out a third bot also, which then tried to ban Nightbot.
Yep.
And it was just this bot insurrection. They were all posting timers. I'm like, no, please, everything stop. I don't know what I'm doing.
Nope.
And it was just ridiculous.
Nightbot
is still to this day in my channel, and I can't get it to leave.
Okay, so this is welcome to Tales of Tamriel as we get into stream things.
Sorry.
No, because I have had a similar thing, because shout out to all my obnoxious mods who just like to grief me as much as each other and everything like that. And that when I got Wisebot, I had to get Wisebot to replace my Nightbot because for some reason, my friend Rick, it was like, we used to joke that it was racist against him because it would just constantly ban him regardless of what he would do. God. And I was like, what is the problem with him? So I made him a mod since, he's my friend from high school anyways. And he was like, we'll see about this Nightbot. So he banned Nightbot, and then Nightbot what did it try to do? It tried to remove his sword. Like it was trying to demod him. I'm like, okay, Nightbot has become far too strong. Like, we need to stop this. So I got Wisebot which then banned Nightbot while it was trying to get rid of Rick from my chat. I was like, I have a civil war in my chat room between my mods and my stupid robots. So
I mean, at least you two fought against Nightbot. I just gave up. I served the Nightbot. I don't have a channel. It's Nightbot's channel, and I'm just a puppet in the grand scheme of things.
So I guess more behind the scenes, it turns out Nightbot owns DCN. And we are all subservient to Nightbot.
And the robots have officially taken over. This is where it starts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that, I guess we can move on to our tales, since we did our token derailing from the show.
Yeah. Had to get one derail in there.
Yeah, this is as good a time as any, because even I have tales this week.
Oh,
albeit they are short.
Nice.
So I'm gonna get them out of the way. And
start us off.
Yeah. So, obviously, Undaunted Event, a lot of people wanting to run dungeons, jumping back into the game. So I did as well. And out of 3 dungeons I ran, I got 3 opal motifs. And I was like, yes,
Nice.
money. Because I don't like how they look. I don't like the... Well, there's one shield that is just flaming everywhere. It's just fires coming out of everywhere. I don't know which one that is, but it's pretty nice. But other than that, I don't like them. So I was like, yes, this is easy 500k. And this is not the first day, mind you. This was yesterday. And unfortunately, I realized the prices dropped so fast, I can't sell them.
Oh no.
So now I just gave up on the event, because what's the point of doing the event if it's not going to make me some money for housing?
Oh, you can't sell them at all? Like, nobody's biting?
No, it's. I mean, you could, I guess, sell them for like 25k each, which is not worth the effort.
Oh, God.
I was hoping for like 100k a piece. Instead, it dropped so fast. So I'm like, oh, come on. Just one event I could have made money, and it's just gone. So...
I will say everybody's about to get a whole bunch more money, because one of the daily rewards this month is that 100k, and that might do something to kind of jumpstart and inflate the prices in Guild Source.
People have more to throw around.
I'm not gonna get that 100k either. I haven't been logging in Oh man.
Me either.
See, this is every way that ZAS provides to make money, I managed to not do it. In an amazing fashion. And somehow I'm still not broke. I don't understand how this works, but I'm still holding on to there. But I have the entire Lynchal Grand Manor to decorate. But I only have 250k gold banked right now, which is a lot less than what I'm comfortable with. Whenever I'm below 500k, usually, I immediately start making money and go back above 500k, and then I spend it all in housing, and then I have to make money again. This time, I haven't been able to go back to 500k. I'm just going down and down. It hasn't been a good financial ESO year for me.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I have like 20k between all of my tunes.
Also,
How do you survive in ESO? What do you eat?
I just don't buy things.
What do you eat? Those free crown refreshing
I make
drinks.
my own food.
I make my own armor.
Oh my god! I mean, I just paid several dozens of thousands of gold for a piece of Heartland equipment, and I'm gonna pay another 100k for the Heartland shield, because there's no way I'm gonna go farm. I'm just gonna buy. Who farms? Who grinds for gear? If it's not bind on pickup.
If you're poor in ESO, the best thing to do is to run dungeons as a healer, and then whenever they're like, what on earth food are you eating? You're like, oh, just the crown stuff, it's all I have. They send you some, because they don't want to die anymore.
Okay, so you are so poor in ESO, you found an exploit to get food from people. That is, I don't know if that's impressive or sad.
Yeah,
The
these-
ESO
impressively
panhandler.
sad.
I'll just send you food. I have like witch mothers coming out of like everywhere. Like there's like 80 on every tune.
I'm actually good now. So the issue was whenever I first came from PS4 to PC and then hit
Yeah.
50 and had no crafters. And so
Yeah.
now I have a crafter and I have, I can do like double Bloody Mara and Witch Mothers and all that. So I'm good. But for a while there, it was rough.
So since you're one of the beggars that the Thieves Guild has to get information from, do they intentionally give you the information in advance, or do you just kind of pick it up from roaming the streets?
I think they tell me what they want people to know.
Okay. I was always curious on that.
So
Nobody knows we're
Benevolent
listening.
says, ESO gold making way, there is the wrong way, and there is the writ way.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that is the writs do earn you a lot of money, and
Yeah.
but they are so mind numbing and so repetitive. I just can't
are.
do it. It's-
So the one benefit
doesn't
is they are great for just consistently keeping your money going up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you need money fast, unless you want to nuke every tune every day, that's going to be a mess. But like, I just consistently run my main character, and unless there's an event that benefits it, like the anniversary one where it's like, oh, you get gift boxes for doing writs, it's like, okay, welcome all of these characters who never get touched. But normally I just do my main character and Arkhaniir, who the two of them, it's every day I log in, I just do those, and I pre-make as much of it as possible, so I don't even really even look at it most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, every now and then I drain Arkhaniir's funds into my personal bank because I'm like, oh, you're up to like 500,000 gold because I haven't been paying attention to you. It's like, sweet, I can just dump that into the main account. But I never look at him as a way to specifically get money, because then you kind of realize it's like, okay, well, doesn't add up that fast necessarily. Although those gold materials you get and stuff like that can definitely help as well.
Yeah, another thing is I only have like 4 characters that I can do writs on, and only 3 of them or 2 of them are leveled up enough to do proper writs, like level 50 writs. The rest are just doing like iron ore kind of writs, and that doesn't return much. But yeah, I mean, some people do. They do like writs on 15 characters every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Inklings at some point was doing 30 writs a day across
Oh, yeah,
2
he was
different
My
accounts.
God.
I was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
why?
that's madness.
You
Yeah.
have more money than you could ever spend in the game. Why are you doing this to yourself? I think it's, at that point, it's an addiction, and you like stop.
To
get some
To be
help.
fair, I
Like-
think that's his game. Like, that is the
Yeah.
game. Is just mastering the market. It's like, one day I would like to just buy ESO.
the whole server.
Well, I don't know how like accurate this is on other like servers, but I know that there are like actual like people who run like straight up like mafias essentially in the capital cities.
Oh yeah,
What?
Are you talking about
Yeah,
Mournhold?
the Mournhold
on
Mafia.
PS4? Yeah, the
it's
Mournhold
like a
Mafia.
very
yeah.
real thing
It's-
that there are people
it-
who are mob bosses that dominate the market, and that is their game.
Yeah, I won't call him
Wow.
out by name because he was in my PvP guild, but one of them, this was a while back, bought every bit of Perfect Row that existed on the market and jacked the price up to 30k per Perfect Row. And literally he owned all of it unless people went fishing for scratch. So he made a killing when, what was it, the Clockwork Citrus Fillet or whatever came out.
Yeah.
And that's why he did it, because everybody wanted that thing. So he just jacked the price up because he had literally all of it. So it was up to you to go fish or pray that people had it not listed on the marketplace. So I was like, wow, that's clever, but that took a lot of collateral to get started.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like it's in all the capital cities on I know it's on PS4 for sure. It's a very real
most
thing.
definitely. Most definitely it's a thing.
And I just thought about something like the housing. When you say like over 12 million gold is too much, just realized that some housing items go for several million gold, like the recipes and whatnot. So I guess does make sense that you need I need to start doing grits, definitely. And
Me
turn
too,
my
apparently.
alliance points into gold. I have a lot of several million alliance points that are just sitting there useless.
You can sell those pretty easy at a 5-to-1 ratio.
5-to-1 ratio. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
keep
so
that in
like,
mind.
yeah, I was gonna say like 5 alliance points are equivalent to like 1 gold. So a lot of times people need those triune stones,
Yeah.
and those are like 100k or whatever. So it's like I do that, and I'll either craft them the thing so that they can use it, or if they just want the stone, and then I just pitch that junk at them, and I'm like, yep, that's fine with me. I'll sell this off all day.
That is also why I've been getting ready for Midyear Mayhem as well. Which is why I've been buying Heartland set. I thought I had 2 sets of weapons for Heartland, but apparently I have 1 set. And the shields go over 100k. So I don't want to pay 100k for
No,
the shield.
nonsense.
But at the same time, I don't want to farm for it. Because the shield drops are... like, I once ran Fanglair 30 times to get 1 Ulfnor's favor shield. 30 times in Fanglair. So I really don't like
Ouch.
farming for stuff because I'm not lucky when it comes to the weapons. But yeah, so my current plan is Heartland set, which reduces player damage for 5% less damage from players, 20% less damage from siege weapons, and player area of effect abilities. So basically those Dominion banana trains that just burn through everything, you can survive those. I also really want to give the Frozen Watcher from Depths of Malatar a chance, because that's a set I've been wanting to use. Basically, all the time while you are blocking, it starts an inferno around, not an inferno, a blizzard around you, and it deals like 1k damage, but it applies chilled status, so it slows everything down around you by a lot. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna jump into the middle as a pure tank in Cyrodiil, like during the sieges, in the gateways, in the stairs and whatnot, and I'm just gonna start blocking and slowing everything around me down and being an full-on annoyance. That is my, build, but I gotta get that shield first. So I'll be following the Tamriel Trade Center, trying to hunt for that cheap, like that one mistake someone puts there. Because I got the sword for 10k. The sword should be above 50k as well. But someone listed it for 10k and I was like, I'm gonna transmute this right away. It's easy
that
money.
would be me.
Yeah.
I'm that I don't care enough to like go figure things out, and I'm just like, yeah, like 1,000 gold for a motif from a veteran dungeon, like cool.
No.
Or like a DLC dungeon. I'm like 1,000 gold, awesome. It's out of my inventory. Like I don't care.
First time I ever joined a trading guild, I was still on PS4, and I didn't have any idea what it was whenever Somerset had just dropped, and everybody wanted the Sapiarch motifs, and I had a bunch of extras, and I put it up for like 1 or 2k, and someone from my guild immediately bought it, sent it to me, and said, you need to put this up for 15k because that is you're making bad decisions. I'm forever
is
grateful for that
thoughtful.
person, because then I like actually looked at how much things were going for after that, because I did not realize they were that expensive, and that's how I made my money on PS4. And then for whatever reason on PC, I just can't get that lucky.
See, I mean, you had a good guild. If I catch something like that in the guild store, I'm buying it and selling it at the same place for the actual price. I don't care. I mean, people are like, so we run a dungeon. People are like, you need this? Yeah, I'll give it to you for free. I'm like, how much does it sell for? It's about 20k. Yeah, I'm gonna sell this. I don't care. If it's below 20k, then I might consider giving it away. If it's above 20k, I need housing stuff. I don't. But yeah, those are my tales. Probably the rest of the day that we are recording this live, Sunday, I'll be trying to get that Heartland shield, and I'll be jumping into Cyrodiil to test out that build. I basically want to have a good build for Cyrodiil before the Midyear Mayhem hits. That is my plan. Yeah.
You could run that trash build I was doing on stream that time you came by, wondering what I was using.
Yeah.
Like all these outdated sets from year 2. Went well enough.
Yeah. So, Pixie, now that you're officially a co-host, why don't you go ahead and tell your tales?
So I actually switched up my healer build a little bit.
Also, sorry
sorry
for cutting you off, but that sounded like we didn't let you tell your tales when you were a guest.
You sit in the
there
corner and you
corner.
wait.
Jinx. So I had been running, and this was just pure laziness on my part, just because it was easy for me to get. I was running Sanctuary and Olorime. Well, Sanctuary, it only really helps you if like people are grouped on you, and I tend to stand back anyway, so it was doing absolutely no good, pretty much. So I took the time and I farmed out the Hollowfang set, and I finally got a chance to run with it for the first time this week. First dungeon, I'm noticing that I have like no magicka recovery at all. Come to find out, I forgot to enchant things with the right stuff.
Oh, God.
And so I'm like, I just had whatever it came with, and I didn't like use the transmute stations, anything. And I'm like, oh no. And my whole group is like, what is wrong with you? I was streaming and Twitch is like, you're not playing like yourself tonight. I was like, I need to throw my old gear on. I don't know what's going on right now. I have no magicka. And then I played better after that. So I actually got all of that fixed, and I was able to run with my fully enchanted stuff yesterday, and oh my goodness, I love that set so much. It procs all of the time, because apparently I crit heal a whole bunch. And there's constantly this little blood ball that just goes kaboom and gives everybody resources, and everybody likes it. And then I have that with my Symphony monster set, so everybody's constantly getting magicka all the time. And I have my Healy balls, and it just is fantastic, and I love it so much. There's just resources for everyone.
Which set was that?
That was so Hollowfang.
Where
It'll
did
explode.
Drop from?
Moongrave Fane.
Yeah, Moongrave Fame.
No.
It's go for it.
I was gonna say I really like that dungeon, except for the first boss, which is still glitched every time I do it.
He's adorable,
no.
though.
And he resets about 4 times every time.
God. Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do. There's no way to prevent it.
That really sucks.
And we had our very first run together.
Yeah.
We drove into your parked
And
car.
speaking of, it's finally getting fixed.
Yup.
Yeah. So I really like the dungeon, other than that glitch, which dissolves every group I get into.
Yeah, it's very annoying when that happens.
Yeah.
I actually had some really smooth runs. I didn't do it on Vet because I just really decided I didn't hate myself last week whenever I got it. So
Feeling in
I
a
was
loving
like,
mood.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to yell at things tonight. Let's just go in on normal with the people I know, and it'll just be fine. And they just ran it over and over and over again with me and gave me all the stuff I needed, and it was fantastic. And everybody was great. And so then, today, actually, I've been doing the Undaunted event like crazy, because unlike Arkhaniir, I love the opaline motifs, the style pages. They are absolutely gorgeous to me. I love shiny things, and this gives me really nice shiny staffs for my healer, and it just makes me ridiculously happy to have them. So I've been running dungeons as often as I can, and tonight I was dared to run my tank through Vet hard mode content. My tank just hit 50, and I just got gear for her, so that was interesting. I feel like I did okay. The only thing I could say while I tend to talk a lot whenever I'm streaming, but the only thing I could manage to get to come out of my mouth was the move that I was actively doing. So it's just a whole bunch of poke you, frozen gate, poke you, just the entire time. It's like, oh man, I need to buff things. I need to hit this button, and it was just ridiculous. But only a couple people died. Most of that was just standing in fire and general shenanigans. So the hardest one was whenever I was doing Blessed Crucible, because it was like Dance Dance Revolution from Mayern's Dagon's realm. It was just awful. So much fire. And for whatever reason, I just have the hardest time. I've been playing for almost 5 years now, and I still have issues dancing around that. I don't know what it is about that boss. It's just like my kryptonite, and I just don't pay enough attention. But we finally beat that hard mode, and then we did Wayra Sewer's hard mode. And so I was a little bit late getting on the video call tonight. But that's pretty much it for me.
And so far from what I can see, your tank is doing just fine. One thing is, I don't know if the Frozen Gate is the skill that teleports people to you, like. So instead of chains, you have that skill that teleports mobs to you. The first skill from Fighters Guild skill line, it has a morph that works like Dragon Knight's chains.
Ooh.
It's stamina too. So
Silver Leash, I think is what
Silver
it's called.
Leash,
Something like that.
So it's
Nice,
basically
I
a
need it.
stamina version of the extended chains, and it will just pull people towards you. And I find that it's more easier to aim and focus than Frozen Gate, because Frozen Gate, someone you don't want could walk on it as well, I think. I'm not entirely sure how Frozen Gate works, because I almost deleted my Warden tank. That feels yeah, flashbacks. But giving that a try would be worth it as well.
I totally will. Thank you so much. Because I was getting so mad at Frozen Gate, and it was mostly because I thought I would aim it and hit the button in time, but then I would just spastically turn back to what I was trying to poke and cast it on them. Like, well, I'm already at them. Like, that's where I already am. I don't need you any closer to me. You're right here. And it was just consistently me clicking that button whenever it didn't need to be clicked and pulling random nonsense. And then I would cast it on a mob, and I thought it was supposed to bring all of them to you, but I noticed it was consistently only bringing one of them.
Yeah, it's just
So I had to cast it a bunch of times. So apparently I just don't know how to read skills either. So I learned that about myself this week. But I'm going to get that leash.
It's a massive AoE on the ground, so you intuitively expect it to teleport everyone there.
Yeah, it is weird that it doesn't teleport everybody in the AoE. Because it's like, well, I get that they haven't wanted to do too much AoE taunting / pulling stuff, but at the same time, it's like, it's peculiar that there's an AoE that looks like it would, but it's like, oh, yeah, just kidding, it picks one. It's like, what?
Right.
Like, how? All right, I guess that's one strategy to doing this.
Yeah. One annoying part of chains in opposition to that the Frozen Gate is, sometimes you just want to pull that one mage in the back, and there's all these bunch of mobs in the way that are all already pulled and stunned, so they are crowd immune too. So, like, I jump, I chain, and it just hits that one other mob next to the mage. I try it again. Other mob. I try it again. I'm just in the middle of the fight, just jumping up and down. I leave the boss, whatever the boss is doing. I just focus on that one mage, trying to just pull it in between all of these mobs, and I get obsessed with it. And for the next 10 seconds, you see the tank just chaining something while jumping up and down, achieving absolutely nothing. That is, so one advantage of Frozen Gate, I think, would be that if it completely ignores the crowd control immunity, like the thing that, I don't know how to explain
Oh,
this.
the like CC cooldown that you
Yeah,
get.
the
Like
CC
you can
cooldown,
only
yeah.
CC. Yeah, where it's you have like, is it 3 seconds where you can't?
I think so,
re-trigger it
yeah,
Again? I think
3
it is.
seconds.
Yeah.
So if the Frozen Gate ignores the CC cooldown, by that I mean it doesn't trigger if it can't pull the enemy, and it doesn't go to waste, then it might be a good alternative to Silver Leash, because then you would just pull the one mob that you want. But it's just very situational thing, so I don't know. I would have to try. I do have a level 50 Warden. I could just try this, but I can't go to that level 50 Warden because I spent, I think it was 11 hours in Bloodroot Forge with that Warden tank, with pugs.
Cool.
Oh my god.
It was a nightmare. So I don't want to go. I can't log into that character. It's just bad memories.
I think the hardest thing with Frozen Gate for me also was it had like the timer on it. So you would cast it and it wouldn't pull immediately. There was like it would have to tick a few times and then it would pull. So at that point, the mob has moved.
Yeah.
It's not standing there anymore, and it's not doing me any good. So I just had to make sure I only cast it on like the stationary casters or something, not someone that was just running in the wrong direction and wanted them over here to stack everybody together. So I think the Silver Leash will definitely work better.
Yeah,
So I'm
if
gonna try that one.
If it also has a casting time, just drop it and level the Silver Leash thing.
Done.
What else? Do you have anything else? Well, I guess I threw it back at you. You had finished. I can't
Nothing
keep track
else.
of things.
Just frantically tried to tank things whenever dungeons bugged out and stuff, and it was interesting. The guy didn't want to come down from his little perch in Wayrest sewers.
I hate that bug.
I think every dungeon has one little bug that just blocks the progress.
Which boss?
So he's got
so
the
it's
little crabs, like the mud crabs are on the bottom. He jumps off the platform down into the water with
Oh,
you.
yeah.
But sometimes he jumps off the platform onto an invisible airwalk. And
Oh, he didn't even make it onto the
swings.
invisible airwalk. He just casually walked onto the platform and then stood there and still splashed us.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
I've never
But,
experienced that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I've had that happen
Yeah.
quite a few times.
It's one
where
of the
like,
oldest bugs in the game too. It's like
yeah, it's a long-standing.
I always get stuck at the door.
Yeah.
There's the
yeah,
door thing.
doors
Yeah,
annoying.
that's super annoying.
Yeah.
That's the hardest boss in the game right there.
Yeah.
Everybody passes through, and you're like, guys,
You're like,
help,
Please.
help.
I'm trying to
Please
crouch and
help.
somehow it still sees me.
So, Lotus, because you have another painful old-timer Tales, I'm gonna leave you to last. Promethean, why don't you go on ahead?
I don't have any tales. I have not. It's the first week back for classes, so I have been attempting to get ahead in things before I fall behind. So I haven't been playing really any games lately.
So it's that busy then?
Yeah, I'm taking
Jeez.
max real life stuff. Max load is 18 credits, and I'm taking 17.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can. Oh, it's on the other side. I don't think you'll be able to see my nice stack of like books. There's 2 stacks over there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, real
I'm so
busy.
sorry.
It's
It is what it is. That is the student life. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
throw punches.
It'll be nice when it's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm glad you at least made time to be on the show
Yeah.
tonight, man. We missed
Yep.
We missed you.
Yes.
Yep.
And you just gotta graduate before Elder Scrolls 6, and it'll all be fine.
As long as Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't release next year, we're good.
I think you're safe.
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll hear about Elder Scrolls 6 next year with the official release of the new PlayStation and the new Xbox. Like at the
Agreed.
same event. If they announce it on E3, I'm not sure when they're going to announce it, but once they are officially released and people can purchase it, I think then we hear more about Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
But then it will still be about 2 years after that. I don't expect Elder Scrolls 6 before 2022.
Yeah. I
Well, we
think
still got
that's-
Starfield. Which
Yeah, where is
at
Starfield?
best
right.
comes out this year.
Yeah.
Really?
And there's probably at least a 3-year gap between Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
I mean, they
I'm
said
thinking, like,
That long?
24.
3 new IP. Howard said 3 new IP before Elder Scrolls 6. One is Starfield. What is the other 2? We don't even see
Yeah.
Starfield.
I
We
thought he
only saw
said
like
it-
a teaser.
Well, there's that Tokyo.
The
Ghost of Tokyo from
Yes.
the one Ikumi Nakamura works for.
Right.
Well, worked for.
Worked, past tense,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay,
And then-
that's two. I don't think that's
There
one
was-
of the new IPs, though. I'm not entirely sure.
I
I think
don't-
that's an
I
already
don't know.
existing.
I don't.
thing
Yeah, I'm not
that
really
has
sure.
been
That was very
sequel.
coy
I thought
the way
the-
all of that was explained, so to
I
speak.
thought the only thing between like 6 and now was Starfield. I don't remember there being anything in between the two.
I
think-
very specifically remember in one of the interviews, Todd Howard says we are gonna see 3 new IPs before Elder Scrolls 6,
Okay.
among other things, and one is Starfield, the new
Yeah.
IP, but I don't know what the other 2 are.
See,
I don't know
was
if
just-
that Tokyo game is a new IP or just a new game
Well,
on
it
an
would
old
be new
IP.
for Bethesda at least, and I assume they're referring to Bethesda as a publisher, not Bethesda like Softworks, because otherwise we'll just all be dead by the time we get up to 6.
That makes sense. If they count the publisher thing as well, then then I
assume
think
that's-
Tokyo Game will be.
And the other
It's
one
so
was,
sad that we don't know the name. Hold on, we can't just
I
keep
know,
calling
it's-
it the Tokyo Game.
yeah, the Tokyo game.
Although I'm gonna
Ghost of-
Google it as the Tokyo Game right now.
Isn't it?
Okay.
It's Ghosts of
The
Tsushima.
Tokyo game.
It's what?
I think it's Ghosts of Tsushima.
No, that's a
Yes,
different
something
one.
like
That's
that.
a PlayStation thing.
No, is it?
Gosh,
Yeah, that's a
know.
PlayStation exclusive thing that looks super, super awesome. That's made by the people Sucker Punch. They made the
Yeah.
Infamous games.
Okay, this is why I was confused. I was like, I don't know.
Yup,
See, I
that's-
know at E3 though. I do remember from E3 that I thought it was that Todd Howard had said it was like Starfield.
Ghostwire
close.
Tokyo.
Ghostwire
that's what it
Tokyo.
is.
That's it. Yes.
Okay.
I thought he said it was Starfield and then TS6, and I thought that was like. But if
mean, I'd
it
be
wasn't
happy
in
with
an
that.
interview, I didn't watch it. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I didn't see
my
it,
lord.
so I was going off of E3.
I mean, I'm really curious about Starfield as well because I love my space sims.
Yeah.
However, I don't. They didn't even tell us what the Starfield is gonna be. Like, is it gonna be a space RPG
it
like
is
Mass
so
Effect?
vague still.
Is it gonna be
vague.
like Elite Dangerous? Is it gonna be like Star Citizen? What are we?
Or
what are
like
we
a
seeing?
Mass
Just gonna be
Effect,
Skyrim in space.
There's so many possibilities, and I'm just here for all of them. Like, I'm very excited. I don't think it's gonna be a letdown. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Oh man, if I can just pick up 52,000 pounds of space rocks, I shouldn't need to worry about over encumbrance on the moon. So I should be allowed to pick it all up and walk at normal speed.
Well,
That's true.
Yep.
Lotus, it is time for your tales because I think people will enjoy this.
All right, so I'll start with the completion thing that I did, and just the Undaunted Event is happening, just like we always joke. There's an event going on. Surprise! Some of my tales involve me doing the event. I actually haven't really had time to run it too much, so I've just run the one thing a day to get the ticket. I got a couple of those motifs. I haven't learned them because I just left them in my inventory because I wasn't sure if I was going to sell them or not. I like the Engine Guardian shield, so if I get that, I'll probably definitely learn that one just because I like it. But I made reference to last time that I was one quest away from being entirely content complete in Elder Scrolls Online, to which I went and did that quest, so I am now 100% complete with all content in the Elder Scrolls Online
Why?
until Skyrim comes out.
Yay!
So
Isn't it
that
painful?
is that is that is a
not.
lot of quests. That is a lot of vet dungeons. That is a lot of vet trials. That's a lot of arenas, fishing, PvP, all of it.
In terms of just because you got the 100% on the PlayStation, like that's not bad to get.
It's just time consuming
Yeah,
for the
and I
most.
would
There
even-
are, so I think I have 33 or 34,000 achievement points out of the 38,000 available. There are plenty of time trials I don't have. There's plenty of no deaths on trials I don't have. The thing that I wanted to do was to make sure that I did everything on vet as well, which dungeons are challenging enough. I'm not a huge trials person, so some of those were daunting. I've made reference to how much the halls of fabrication like broke my spirits, and which is interesting because I am now in a new super end game trials guild called No Life VHOF, which is very funny because I was like, that's interesting that I would be in something evil that, but shout out to those guys because they are everyone I've dealt with is very, very good. And yeah, for the most part, they kind of show me why they're trying to do a stat squish. Because I just fill the tank role, so I got to join them for that. But yes, the trials are difficult. Obviously, everyone knows the issues with VMA for that trophy, stuff like that, because that was pretty rough. Some of the random achievements that relate to trophies and stuff like that were time-consuming, but it was a lot of it was patience more than anything else. But it was super enjoyable. And my last quest, because I didn't know what it was last time, which I don't know. Warning, potential spoilers for the AD. It involves Razumdar.
If it was the base game, I don't think we have.
It is.
No,
it's base game.
Is this the one?
It's spoiler free now.
Yeah.
Okay, they kill Razumdar pretty much.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, you killed him?
They crush him in a tomb.
No, he's still alive. He gets out.
Well, I know he's alive. He just magically got. But I was like, what is with? How many people just magically die and keep coming back? I was like, wait a minute. I mean, granted, you don't see him die. But they make reference to the fact that he had no way out.
So wait,
you had a choice.
Yeah. What happens? Because I will never play AD storyline.
Wait, I had more of a choice than I did because I might have killed him.
Yeah, you could have saved. You could either like keep the
Rip
either put it
Razumdar.
back. Like you didn't have to kill him. You could just do what he told you not to do, and he would live.
Oh, yeah, hyper rip Razumdar. I was just like, oh man, that sucks, dude. Peace out. I'll see you outside. And then they were like, well, he sacrificed himself. I was like, oh no, he's dead? I was like, I just assumed he was going to come out the other side.
Putting it back, though, isn't great. Like, if you disobey him, I don't think, like, it's not a great choice either.
Oh,
so I disobeyed him
interesting.
because I was like, no, he can't die ever. And so I put it back. And he's outside, and he is livid with you, and just gives you the tongue lashing of the decade. And he's like, I had a way out. I was pretty sure I could make it, but way to go. You just gave it to our enemies. Good job. You suck.
Interesting. I guess I just I was like, yeah, you'll be fine. I'll see you outside in a couple minutes because I know your story crucial because I played this out of order. And then it's just like, man, he made such a heroic sacrifice. I was like, he did? Like, wait a minute. Whoa, what was that?
He probably let you know later, like whenever you saw him in Somerset, like if you had done it like in order, he probably would have told you how he got out. But yeah, he had a way out.
Like you
now
don't,
you have to
you don't
start
see
a new
him
character.
get crushed or anything.
Yeah, now you have to start a new character, kill Razumdar again, go to Somerset, see him, and be like...
see what he's saying.
Oh, you would see him? You'd see him first in the Gold Coast, because he shows up in the quest with Naryu.
Yeah. You're right, I forgot about that one.
What is it, the Sweet Roll Killer or something?
Yeah,
like
the Sweet
that?
Roll Killer. Yep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was my final quest, which was kind of funny, because no one had spoiled that for me. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's why I was kind of like, oh, he'll be fine. And then when they were talking about him in the past tense, I was like, oh, he's not fine. Like, that's not great.
Oh, no, he did.
Yeah, but apparently he
really
escaped.
gone.
Yeah, so he snuck out. We just didn't know about it yet. But that was my final quest.
It's a Khajiit, and cats are liquid, so...
You're right.
Can't crush
You're not wrong on that, so...
You probably just squeeze through places like the
why I
cats do.
figured he'd be fine.
I think it's fun. I think it's really great that you're using the argument that like you didn't see him die. I like that because that's I don't know. I keep seeing it everywhere, but people are really like
That's the internet's hope for Abner Tharn.
Yeah. They're like, well, we didn't see it happen, so he's probably alive. I'm like,
and
guys.
his bust is still talking to me, so that
Yeah,
means
like,
he's there.
I'm like, he's pretty dead.
Yeah, so that was actually a pretty entertaining final quest for me. I kind of liked that. But yeah, that's pretty much, that was my big thing with ESO. I'm very excited for whatever we'll find out about coming up with Skyrim. But as a result, the thing that I had promised a while back and finally got going with slightly more help because it was working after I had mentioned Photon had helped me get it working. And I ran into, it was running, but its frame rate was so bad. Like, it was like shadow key bad. And I'm like, oh, come on. I have like a 1080. Like, there's no reason I can't run a DOS box game. Like, what is happening? Like, can I at least crank this just so it forcibly runs fast? And I found out that there was a link to the UESP. So shout out to those guys and Pylon for directing me there. They had a couple different things. If this is happening, set this setting to this and blah, blah, blah down the list. Totally fixed it. So it runs perfectly good for a game from 1995. So I am now fully into, and I've been posting pictures on my account, which I just kind of throw back so people can follow it without needing to follow me on Tales of Tamriel's Twitter account. I don't have the ability to stream it as of yet because that thing does not like to play nice with my other programs. So I've been doing picture versions of Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, and I am at about 4 hours in at this point, and I am still in the first Imperial dungeon because you start as a prisoner, and I can't get out. The map is sort of difficult to read, but it's not that map's fault. The graphics literally look like the original Doom game, so it's a little rough. But that game is advanced for being that old. There is a lot happening with that game. I still don't entirely understand everything. I don't know if this is a standard like a D&D thing or a like maybe just a tabletop thing that I don't know. So armor class. Mm-hmm. Do you want that to be high or low?
You want yours to be high and the enemies to be low in a perfect world.
All right, well, that's backwards in this game because it turns out that the lower your number, the more durable you are, not the higher number.
Oh, that's very wrong.
That was very god-awful since I'm like, these rats are tearing me apart, and I'm like in plate mail. And I'm like, what is happening? But I was like wearing the plate mail wrong because I'm a moron and don't know how to equip things, and it's like 2 buttons. So when I put the stuff on, I was reading it thinking, like, why is plate mail so lame? Because it's like bringing all these numbers down. This burlap sack is way better. So because it's like, well, that's +8 as opposed to like -4. Yeah, I was reading that backwards. So that problem has been fixed. But okay, so it's mentioned in chat with old school D&D, I want a low armor class. Okay, well, I guess that's what it's going off. But, oh man, yeah, see, this is way more advanced than I was expecting. And this is the quality of RPG that you're dealing with. So, to people who have mentioned the game being dumbed down as it goes on, you can refer to a dumbed down, or as I would put, streamlined, so that you can understand what's happening. Yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve. You also have to direct how you swing your sword, which is quite interesting because you like click. You also don't left click. You hold the right mouse button and then direct the sword direction. That's how you swing in this game. So, yeah, it's... Without getting overly convoluted on these controls make my head hurt, like, you can't... If you just hit attack, nothing will happen. You'll just try to talk to them. Anything, including rats, including goblins, you'll just talk to them. And I'm like, that's not great, because they'll just attack you. So you have to make sure to always unsheath your weapon first and then attack. It does not default that. You can't just... You can pickpocket things. That's still a feature of the game. But you have to then switch off your sheathing of your weapon. You have to put your weapon away and then take out your hands, but you have to take out your hands in pickpocket mode, which is a separate mode to then try to pickpocket things, which I'm like, well, I'm never doing this again because it's just a death sentence. So yeah, that was that. And as I've been exploring around, which it looks all similar. I mean, there can only be so many tile sets, I suppose, in a game like this. But I've been looking around trying to get out of here. They're very descriptive as you walk around the halls. So I don't know. I don't think this game's procedurally generated. I think they started that with Daggerfall. So I think this one was designed. Because when you walk around, I assume these are supposed to be clues, but I'm just not picking up on them yet. As you walk, words come across the bottom of your screen sometimes, and it's like you hear the skittering of rats across the cobblestone floor. I was like, oh, how descriptive. That's very interesting. And then I like continue on. It's like you sense a dark, eerie presence looking at you from across the gap. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound great. But then, like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And it keeps giving me these little descriptors as I go. So I think maybe that's supposed to be leading me the correct way. And I haven't pieced it together yet. But you don't have health regeneration in this game either. I've heard this game is hard. And I can confirm, I died several times trying to figure out how to swing my sword, which I was like, well, that's just me being incompetent. That's fine. But then it got to the point of, okay, I know how to swing my sword, and I can kill the rats, I can kill the goblins. I never regenerate health, so I'm like, that's pretty bad. So you can rest. It's got a little campfire symbol. You can rest. And it just does, the time goes up, you're waiting, your health comes back. They are relentless with the spawns in this game. It's like, you rested for 1 hour, you got 7 hit points, here's 9 more rats. I'm like, well, okay, each of the rats alone, if they hit me once, I'm not going to make it. And it seemed like I got a pretty good pattern, so I thought I had it down to a science, which was where the most recent pictures I posted were. I was like, I got this. I'm just going to rest. I'm going to clear the room. I'm going to back up. I'm going to rest. I'm going to clear the room. I'm going to back up. I'm going to cheese this so that I'm real good with my sword. And as if to spite me, the game's like, stop killing these rats and goblins. These things are chumps to you now. Here's some lizard men. And I'm like, well, that's quite a jump because these guys are armed with shields and swords, and I died. They just destroyed me. I'm like, oh, alrighty, so that's fine. So went back to my save. Tried the same approach, but this time I used the terrible pathing to get them stuck on a wall and slowly poked him in the shin until he died. And I figured, I'm good to go. And I go into the next room, and it spawns a Breton sorcerer, battle mage. Oh. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. A second ago I was fighting rats. Then I upgraded to goblins. Then I get Argonians, sort of. And I'm like, well, now I'm getting, like, Breton. Just obliterates me. Just fireball across the room, and I'm just done. I'm like, oh, come on.
So people in chat were saying that, like, there are people who never got out of the prison in Arena, including Pete Hines himself.
Yeah. So, again, to speed this along, 4 hours of this was me. Okay, I'll just quick save whenever I kill anything and just sleep and pray that I don't get mugged in my sleep. And you can kind of... They can still sort of poke you, but if you angle them right, you can kind of get them stuck on the really squared off walls because their movement boxes are kind of weird, and you can kind of jab them around the corner. So I've taken out all of these things, and that completely over the top battle mage thing, which I had to hit it like 40 odd times before it died. I was like, there's no reason this thing is in this starter dungeon. Like, this is ridiculous. I killed it, and that was where it had a full set of plate mail. I was like, I burlap sacked a plate mail. Like, what is happening? Like, this is like, there's no casual upgrade. So, yeah. Moral of the story is I haven't left the first area yet. I'm level 5 or 6 already. But I'm getting there, I think.
Isn't Arena massive?
Yeah.
Like, is it all of Tamriel?
So, one of the other things that I'll have to post about is Fang Lair is the first place they want you to go.
Oh.
In Elder Scrolls Arena.
Interesting.
Which I was like, well, if it's anything like that dungeon, I'm doomed, because that's not how I want to start this. But you talk to this weird, I don't know, mystical ghost lady. I really don't know what reference she has so far, but she's dead, and she's giving you vague instructions. And she's the one who wants you to find the staff of, I think it's maybe the staff of Magnus, actually. And it's broken into several pieces. For anybody who doesn't know the story to Arena, you basically just it's the thing where Jaeger Tharn is pretending to be the Emperor and has imprisoned the real Emperor in his Oblivion realm, or whatever, the pocket of Oblivion he made. And you need this staff to help break the spell or whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was the Staff of Magnus, if I remember correctly. But either way, it's shattered into 8 pieces, and the first piece that you need to go get is in Fang Lair. And I'm like, that's really cool. It's a Fang Lair reference. That's really not cool. There's 8 of these things, meaning I am really going to be traveling all over the place. This is not going to be a short experience. So, yeah. That's week 1 of Elder Scrolls Arena, and yeesh. It's not fun, but it's like, I've been referencing it. It's a Dark Souls level of fun. You need to kind of like to just be beaten to try to overcome it, and I guess I'm kind of in the mood for that at the moment, because I don't know. I don't hate it, although depending upon how long this game is, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. Because, like, if this is the, like, tutorial, good God, I'll be playing this until Elder Scrolls 6, because I'll never finish it, so...
Rock Vankers is welcome to the next 3 years of your life.
3 years of my life, yeah.
Tales of Tamriel episode 400 will be celebrating Lotus finishing Arena.
Yo, I'm a gray beard at this point. I'm like, I made it out of the prison, everybody.
So it's the Staff of Chaos.
Okay, the Staff of Chaos. All right.
Thank you. I don't know if she would have told you how it works, so I won't tell you unless you really want to.
No, her voice is weird. It really lulls me to sleep like almost instantly, which is bizarre because it's a DOS game, but it is voice acted, and it's got like it's got music, it's got really hilarious sound effects. Once you hear a door open, you'll never unhear that sound again. It is horrific. They have never heard of oil in Tamriel. It is just awful. But the other thing that is funny, because it's really jarring when she's talking to you, is she fully voices everything. It's like, oh, champion, blah, 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 this and this. They type your name in, but she can't say it because she doesn't know what it is. So she's like, greetings, my champion, blah, blah, blah. I need you, awkward pause, to then finish. And I'm like, All right, well, that's weirder that you brought attention to the fact that you're not saying my name than if you had just said nothing. But it types it in her dialogue tree, too, so it's like...
Wow.
It's like, thanks, I guess. So, yeah.
They just need that old Microsoft voiceover stuff. I think it was like Microsoft Sam or whatever his name was. Just come over for everybody. Just robotically
super
say what you
generic
typed.
dialogue. Well, the other thing is, which a couple people have pointed out, I'm more often than not, I name my things really stupid things. Most people do like lore-based things or smart things or funny things. I do dumb things because my character name is oh my god, I can't believe it's working, or something like that. Which is really awkward because in dialogue trees, it takes up the maximum amount of space you can have. So it's just this giant chunk of dialogue that clearly screws up. You're not supposed to have a name that long. So it bumps the dialogue levels down so that it's just super awkwardly placed all over the screen. I'm like, well, this has a funnier side effect than I intended when I was coming up with this. But yeah, so... That's going pretty well, I guess.
Oh god, I'm really curious. Okay, so to anyone who's watching this, either on Twitter, YouTube, on the website, leave us a comment guessing how many weeks, how many episodes it will take Lotus to get out of the prison. I'm curious. I'm gonna post this on Twitter as well. Let's get a guessing game going here. And yeah,
I don't plan on using walkthroughs for this, just the same way I didn't with Shadowkey either. So I want to do this myself. Yeah, I mean, unless I'm just gridlocked for eternity, but like, I think it's a pretty bad sign if I can't get out of the tutorial dungeon. It's like.
I mean, in 1995, I don't think games had a concept of tutorials.
No.
So don't look at this as a tutorial dungeon. Look at this as
that's true.
There was no tutorial concept.
Yeah, this was opening punishment round 1 in the prison. Like, yeah. But no, if 2 weeks go by and my only tales are I'm still in this damn prison, please help me. That'll probably be the end of me.
So I had to look it up because I'm never going to play it and I would like to know the story of Arena.
Yeah.
The whole story takes place over 10 years. So
yes.
I want you to be ready for that time commitment.
I think they intend you to play it in real time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through the whole 10 years.
It does have a thing like, so you can click on your status update. Oh, I have the consumption, by the way. That's another disease in the game. You can get, yeah, they apparently have real diseases too. It's not like, oh, you have astral vapors or you have like, joint rot. No, I got the consumption from a rat that bit me in the first room, and I've just been suffering from it since then. So I don't even know what that does to my stats. I can't find where it tells me.
Oh,
it just says, I can't believe this is working, and it's got like is in the year of the Imperial year, whatever. They start you on, and then you're in the Imperial sewers. It's this time of day. You have the consumption. I'm like, oh, great, thanks. There's a sweet status update.
I mean, Ryan put it very nicely in chat. I mean, to be fair, you are not supposed to get out of the prison.
That is valid. Maybe it's just they got lax on their security after so many people died in the arena. They're just like, we don't really need to have this much security. Nobody gets out anyways. Like,
4 games later, you are walking out of there with the Emperor just getting assassinated and everything.
yeah, just getting shanked. Like,
I mean, it is the same Emperor, so I mean,
it is.
It would make
It
sense.
is,
yeah. Well, I can't believe this is where he has died of dysentery, and then we just stumble into the Oregon Trail game. Congratulations, you broke a wagon wheel, and then your supplies went downstream. The Emperor is lost. Yeah. But
Well, best of luck, Lotus. Best of luck.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I,
you're gonna need it.
yep. Doing my best.
Good luck.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to add to that miserable Tales?
No, I think I'm pretty good, actually.
All right. We do have an email, which we love. You can send us emails over at contact@dungeoncrawlernetwork.com, or you can go to the website dungeoncrawlernetwork.com and you'll find the contact form there. So this is from Ryan Blackburn. So a few weeks back, Lotus and I were trying to figure out how the Elder Scrolls Online map compares to the other maps, and what would the next chapter or the DLCs could be. We figured out Windhelm doesn't have anything north of it, even though in Skyrim it has, which I still haven't logged into Skyrim to see what it has. But we were also talking about a patch of land east of Eastmarch and the Rift, and whether if that was part of Skyrim, where was it, things like that. So Ryan sent us an email, Unexplored Morrowind. Greetings, Tales of Tamriel. First off, I want to let you guys know that I'm a big fan of the show, and I listen every time you release a new episode. You guys are one of my favorite podcasts, and I am glad you guys do what you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you for contacting us as well. So what I wanted to mention in this email is what Arkhaniir and Lotus were discussing a few episodes back regarding unused space in Morrowind. After I heard you guys talk about this, I did some research and found that the strip of land to the east of the Rift and Eastmarch lies Morrowind's 4th era capital of Blacklight. To the east of Vardenfell lies the city of Necrom, which I could not find a lot of information about. The two of you stated that you would be doing some research yourself regarding what is over there. I was wondering, were you able to find anything? I forgot to do research on my part, so that's on me. Morrowind is...
Go ahead, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say... Yeah, go for it.
Don't forget.
I won't. No, I won't.
Morrowind is my personal favorite area in Tamriel, and I would like to hear anything you guys know regarding this unexplored area. Thank you for reading and keep up the great work. Death to the Guar! Yes! That is how you sign an email. If you're going to send emails like this, send them more.
I was very impressed up until that last sentence, and now I am horrified.
Alright, Promethean, you were going to say something.
So, I know that if you go east of Vardenfell, that is... So, essentially, I mean, my knowledge of the way that Dunmer politics and geography work is somewhat limited. Is how it's one of the houses, they control it, and it's the city of Almalexia, sits on the east of Vardenfell.
So if you like look at the map,
I want to say it might
this
be Necrom.
hook-like land covering east of Vardenfell.
Mm-hmm. And that is supposed to be Almalexia, and there's 6 houses? 5. There's 5, and it's the one that we don't meet, which is... I think it's Drez. I think Drez is over there. If I'm not mistaken. The other part, though, I don't know. The only reason I know this is because the Skyblivion or Skywind mod has that in it, or not Sky. It's a different one that's expanding on like Morrowind and including what Morrowind was supposed to have originally.
Right. So I'm looking at Necrom at unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. It is to the east of Vardenfell, yeah. Necrom is one of the 8 major cities of the province of Morrowind, situated along the eastern coast of the Telvanni Peninsula, overlooking the Patagomic Ocean. Necrom is known as the City of the Dead because in Dunmer tradition, the various families and clans of Morrowind would travel to Necrom, bring their deceased family members in urns and coffins that last for months. The city is known for a dark heat. Necrom's house affiliation is suggested to be Dres, so you're right.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then Blacklight. I don't know. I've never even heard of that one, which is interesting. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there on the map.
This kind of makes me want to delve more into this now that he's kind of given us a starting point as to like these look like there's some references to that, because it's like all of this seems very cool just because again it's peculiar that all of this, including us having the Morrowind chapter, this section is still yet to be addressed in any of the games, I guess.
Yeah.
Specifically, at least.
From what I understand, it was originally supposed to be in Morrowind. It was like Morrowind was supposed to be the entirety of Morrowind and not just Ardenfell.
Yeah,
and this got nixed.
Yeah,
along
restraints
with everything
and,
else. Yeah,
right.
The
But-
only time I heard about Blacklight was actually in Skyrim whenever you went to Soulsteam in the expansion. If you like went through a bunch of dialogue options, I can't remember his name, but the Dunmer who talks to you whenever you get off the boat and pretty much interrogates you to make sure you're not a troublemaker. If you talk to him, he'll mention Blacklight, and he'll tell you a little bit about Blacklight being the capital and how beautiful it is and stuff. And that's the only time I've heard of it.
And I was about to say that it sounds familiar, and I just realized that I'm crossing IPs from Bethesda, because I was like, wait, oh, wait, no, that was Little Lamplight from Fallout 3, so never mind. Scrap everything I was about to say, because I just realized that's actually from Fallout, so never mind.
Apparently appears in Arena as well.
Blacklight?
Well,
Yeah.
fantastic. I'll just chart my path there, and in 20 to 30 weeks, I'm sure I'll have made it there.
You're going to see the whole map. You do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically the whole map seems visible. I just assumed they wouldn't make me do that. And
So you have to find pieces of that staff, and they're scattered all over the continent.
good God.
So, hence why it takes 10 years in-game time.
Huh. I wonder what happens if 10 years runs out. Like, what if I take so many naps fighting these rats that, like,
Oh.
it's like, dude, 9 years. You had 10 years to fulfill this prophecy. 9 of it you spent sleeping and killing 5 rats in the Imperial prison. We're going for a different Messiah, and you're not in.
You're too slow.
You're an embarrassment.
You're a disgrace to your own kind.
The Emperor just
should have
died of
come
old
here.
age, and
Yeah,
you
I was
lost.
What is your strategy to beat Yagartarn? You know, just outlive him, I guess. Just wait it out.
War of attrition. I am younger than you, and you're gonna die first.
You'll be
Except
well rested, though, by the time you get there.
Oh man, I will be so well rested.
But yeah, Ryan, thank you so much for that info.
Yeah, that was a
did
great
give us-
email.
Yeah.
Now we know actually what lies there, and at least have a bit more information.
Yeah,
Unlike
no,
our
I actually
usual.
really like that because it kind of gives us a direction, and that's like deep enough lore stuff that I'm like, "Ugh, I don't even have a clue about this.
Now I'm looking at the ESO. It's still there's so much unlocked
There is.
area. It's insane.
Oh, I know. And, you know, just as a reference to the people who are not super, super psyched about Skyrim being the next expansion because of that exact reason, there's so much we haven't seen. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people want to see different stuff, new stuff, stuff like that. And I totally get that. But, I'm still very excited for Skyrim. But, that is a sentiment I do understand because, man, when you look at that map, this game is so enormous. And you think of how many entries there have been, and we've still seen so little.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things. Not to mention the fact that then when you start breaking reality and going into Oblivion, we've barely seen any realms of Oblivion.
Yeah.
That is true as well, yeah. I just hope so. This is something Avi posted on Twitter. If they put Whiterun into the game, but make it a dungeon like Falkreath Hold, I'll be so upset.
Yeah, that would be lame. I would not like that.
And like as Avi again said, it's perfect for a dungeon as well because you have 3 districts, and then you have the Dragon's Reach balcony for a boss fight. Like it fits perfectly into a dungeon style too. But I just don't make it a dungeon. No.
Yeah, don't make it a dungeon.
I
don't think they will. I don't think they will though.
I don't know. I mean, one of them will be a dungeon. I just don't know which one. Something will be a dungeon because it will have a dungeon DLC.
Sure.
Yeah, they'll have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we got 4 dungeons coming. Maybe they'll dive deep and we'll. Obviously we got an arena reference with Fang Lair, which I vaguely remember hearing once I saw them reference it. I was like, wait, I think they mentioned that was like a callback to the original. So maybe they can do a callback to something else and not use a town for that or something like that.
I think if we're going to get a dungeon, I feel like I just have a gut feeling we're going to get Blackreach.
I think that's going to be the
trial.
trial. I do too.
Oh, okay.
I'm convinced that's going to be the trial.
I think we're going to see Blackreach is where I'm at. Like,
Oh,
I just feel
actually,
like that's
Labyrinthian for a
the
raid as well.
That would be amazing.
Labyrinth.
That would be
Yes,
cool.
that's also a very good idea.
I didn't even think about that.
See, so many
They have
options.
so much
bring
to
us-
work with.
There are, and I think that I had talked about it with Casual Ranger on Twitter about, I think, Lotus, you might have been on the thread too, about the connections with, like, the Gilder Green and Elder Green and all of those that just
I
seem
eventually,
like
I got dragged into that thread a couple hundred tags in. I was like, oh, what is all of this?
There's just
Hello.
there's a lot that is very plausible.
And now with the whole long-wing long-wing bat pet, there could
The
be vampires.
Volcanhires.
Yeah,
and
the Volcanhar.
And as far as I can't remember I don't even know who I was talking to and why I would have been talking about this. The timeline of Serana seems to fit
Yeah.
Oh,
to her being entombed in the second era.
I would
Yes.
very much love to be the one to entomb Serana because I hate her. I'd be like,
How
yes,
could you hate
stay
her?
in there for 800
That's
years.
really sad.
Well,
just
she constantly whines and like complains, and then she kills
Well,
everything.
her eyes hurt. There's lots of sun. Her eyes hurt. I would
It's
whine too.
Skyrim. There is almost never that much sun. It's gloomy most of the time.
well, by comparison to being locked in a small box for 800 years, it's probably very bright.
she was probably asleep. She didn't realize it's 800 years. She was probably just sleeping it off like a vampire she is. And she keeps complaining and she kills everything. And I mean everything. Animals, people, stormcloaks, Imperial Guards, civilians, other vampires, other werewolves. I try
Adding to your bunny
go
slaughtered counter.
from point A to point B peacefully because I have all sorts of mods installed, like realistic needs and diseases, cold weather, blah blah blah, hunger, water. And she just keeps pushing me into combat by attacking stuff. Just stop. I can die for real. It's not... This is a different playthrough, Serana. Come on. Things are difficult. But she doesn't... She just keeps attacking stuff. And I Fusroda her to stop her from attacking things. And she comes back running and then starts lightning bolting someone. It's like, come on. Just hold still. But yeah. So I would like to be the one to just like, yep, you're gonna stay here for the next 800 years. Because I would love to be able to do that in Skyrim. Just put her back into the tomb and like, Nope, go back in. Just give me the Elder Scroll. I wish that was an option.
I'm gonna read her a nice little bedtime story and tell her I'll see her in a few hundred years. Because I love her so much. She's my best friend in the game.
Midyear is in chat. This isn't a game, Serena. Our lives are at stake. Alright. Well, anything else anyone want to add? Because we are nearing the end of the show. No? Alright.
Nothing for me, at least.
In that case, Pixie, where can people find you?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/HyperPixieGaming Thursday through Saturday, and you can find me at Instagram at instagram.com/HyperPixieGaming, and on Twitter, because of their character limit rule, it's twitter.com/HyperPixieGames.
And Promethean.
You can find me only on Twitter at Promethean99, where honestly I'm pretty active. So if you need me, reach out.
Like that is your way to reach Promethean outside of the show, since he can't make it on the show too much lately. So
yeah,
go
absolutely
ahead,
reach out. I've been all over this Skyrim speculation, and as we all have, but there's a lot on there.
Yeah.
Well, just less than a week. Less than a week now
man,
until
I can't wait.
we learn.
Yeah.
All the people gonna be at Vegas.
We're working on a cardboard cutout of you when you're on it. Don't worry. You'll be there in paper-based spirit, hopefully.
We can dye my curly hair black and put like a fake beard on me.
All right.
And I can be your stand-in.
Yes.
It'll work. And I'll dye like half my head black and have half of a beard, so that way I can be Pixie and Arkhaniir, and then everybody's happy.
Perfect.
Lotus, where can people find you?
I am Lotus of Doom pretty much anywhere that I use, which be Twitter, Twitch, in-game. If you see Lotus of Doom, that would be me.
All right. Well, from now on, apparently you can find me here at twitch.tv/Dungeon Crawler Network. If you haven't followed us already, if you haven't joined the live shows already, do so at this address. And actually, I just realized something. Now that we don't have a Patreon, I need to do a quick update on the outro. I guess I'll hopefully be able to wing it. But...
I was going to say, I did it once.
Yeah.
Once before it got revamped.
You can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Be sure to check out... No. Don't...
Be sure to check out our iTunes reviews.
If you want to help support the show, you can do so over at twitch.tv/dungeoncrawlernetwork with the bits and the subs and stuff like that. And consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters. Thank you all so much for joining on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you next week. Well, not next week, because people are going to be at Vegas. So
Maybe we can do a podcast from Vegas and I'll send it to you.
Huh. That would be interesting. If you got the time, like if you
I'll see
even,
what I
I don't
can
know,
do.
maybe catch one of the developers and be like, hey.
Ooh.
Well, all 6 podcasts, there are 6 podcasts being represented as
Or one of
pointed
them.
out on
Yeah.
the Lore
Or
Seekers.
just group up like a gang
Yes.
with the podcasters. And
14 people on one podcast, all yelling drunk and
Just surround
full
the
of buffet
developers
food.
and try summoning Todd Howard. That should
Yeah, ooh. Done. We
just
got
chat
this.
like, Howard. That should work. But anyway, thank you all so much, and we will see you when we can see you next time.
See you later.
Good
Bye.
night.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.